Nicole. I'm the Occupational Therapist as part of the team of Coastal Physiotherapy. What we're looking at today is to give you some pointers on workstation setup and the ergonomics of your workstation. So if you are complaining of neck pain, headaches, tightness in your shoulders, tightness in your lower back, any of those complaints can often be directly attributed to the way that your workstation ergonomics are in your place of employment. So Diane here is one of our receptionists in the morning. She's going to be our model for today. What I'm just going to point out today are some key pointers for your workstation ergonomics. This is a fairly average type of workstation. There are a lot of variables, so I can't go into all of the variables today. It would just take too long. So what I'm going to do is just give you a couple of key points so that you can go back and have a look at your own workstation and hopefully be able to improve your workstation. So the first thing you want to do when you're doing a workstation is to take a look at your chair. An ergonomic chair will allow you to adjust the height up and down. It will also allow the backrest to be changed in the angle to fit your lower back. So I'm not going to adjust Diane's chair today, but what you want to make sure when you're thinking about the height of the chair is make sure that you raise it up high enough so that your forearms here, your wrists, are actually slightly lower than your elbows. If you find that your chair is too low, you'll end up typing with your elbows at an angled position, which puts a lot of stress through the musculoskeletal tissues of your upper limb. So what we would do is raise you up. If you raise up and your feet are dangling and you can't touch the floor, then you need to get a small footrest to put in underneath your feet. So once you've set your chair up into the correct position, that's when we'll actually look at the rest of your workstation. The main key points that we need to look at is your mouse, your telephone if you use the telephone a lot, the computer, as well as the keyboard. So the first thing that you want to do with your keyboard is make sure if you do take notes in your work environment that your notes are kept to the side, if you can just move that die over there, and that you actually bring your keyboard right to the edge of the desk. It should be about 6 to 8 centimetres from the edge of the desk, which is typically this wrist support that you see here. That will give you a nice position without having to stretch with your arms. The next thing you want to do is to have a look at your workstation. For the average focal distance of a 19-inch screen, this one's actually bigger than the average length for a computer monitor, is if you can wheel yourself nice and tight into the workstation die, if you can just sit up straight and place your hands out front without coming too far forward. This is roughly the distance that your computer screen should be. If it's further away than that, you will find that your neck starts to drift so that you can see your workstation. This one is allowed to be a little bit further back because it's larger than that 19-inch, so it accommodates for that slightly different focal length. The other thing you want to have a look at is the height of your computer monitor. As this computer monitor is at the moment, Di needs to actually look down with her neck. Holding your neck in that forward position for an 8-hour period will lead to a lot of tightness up the back of the neck muscles going through into the shoulder. So a simple way to do this without spending any money is just the provision of a phone book or something. You can actually slot this underneath here and that will raise that up. What you're looking for is the top of the computer screen to be at the same level as your eye. So for Di, that would be raising it up probably the height of a local directory. Okay, the last thing that we want to look at today is the position of the mouse. You want to make sure that the mouse is not too far away. If you stretch out to that as if you needed to use that, you can see the stretch that actually occurs through the elbow and the shoulder. What we want to do is make that much more natural and bring that in nice and close, and that's what we call your zone of frequent reach. The zone of frequent reach is when you're sitting up nice and straight, you've got a straight back, your elbows are by your side. If you were to do this, then everything that you access on a frequent basis throughout the workday, you should be able to access. So that includes your keyboard, your mouse, and your telephone. So those are some key pointers that you can go back to your workstation to have a look at. If you've got other problems, there are things that do fit outside of the norm, and you might need a more comprehensive assessment to have a look at those type of factors.